What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Tell me if my mic's on in the comments. We're at about $84,000 now, having a little bit of a red day, a little neutral day, a big old nothing of a day. About where we were on the last time that we talked about it, right? Looking at the daily RSI here, still firmly entrenched in this downtrend. Looking like, we could break out of it to the upside, but at this point in time, I'm not optimistic about that, right? It is, what is it today? It is Friday. It's Friday. Nice. End of the week for the stock market, for the business week. I would think that we do, we probably don't have that exciting of a weekend. If anything was to be exciting at all, it'd probably be on like late Sunday or early Monday. That might be whenever things really start to move. So expect a very boring next couple of days. Looking at this here, again, the same kind of idea that we were talking about last night. You are picking up volume on the way down, and even on your green candles, when you're getting a little bit of volume, it's still nothing in comparison to the selling pressure that's coming in, is what it looks like to me. 4-hour RSI doesn't look bad. It's still the 4-hour is the one thing that's given me some kind of optimistic outlook, is that the 4-hour doesn't look absolutely terrible, right? But the daily looks terrible. It looks like it wants to keep going down. The 1-hour time frame, even, we go to this. This is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. You're rejecting the 50, but the thing is, when you reject the 50 like this, you should get oversold. When you reject the 50 like this, you should get oversold. If you keep rejecting it, you're not getting oversold. That can promote growth to the upside. Sometimes when you're supposed to do the bearish thing and you don't, you end up doing the bullish thing inevitably, right? Like here, you're going above the 50, kind of the same idea as rejecting the 50 here, right? And you just keep doing it. Eventually, boom, you had a nice move up, but it wasn't that nice, was it? Like, it was just a little bit move up. So don't be surprised. We're at 84K now. Don't be surprised if we do move up to something at about 85.2K, maybe even all the way back to 86K. Hell, we could go higher than that, and Bitcoin is still in a downtrend. But I'm pretty confident that we don't go above this high here. I think that high, that was literally the bare minimum target to meet, to find resistance. We tipped that golden ratio perfectly, found resistance right there, and now we're back at the 382. Oh, that's awesome. That's a bit interesting. Right at the 382. So yeah, it's very possible. I wouldn't be surprised in the least, actually, if we went to, I know I was saying 85 to 86K, but smack dab in the middle at 85.4 thousand right there. Prior areas of support here, support there, a little bit of support right there, support there, some resistance right here, and it's your 0.5. It's very common when working your way back down, right? You're working your way up, you found resistance at the 382, support on the 236, did that again, and then boom, resistance at the 0.5, support at the 382. You kind of disrespected it, to be completely fair, but then up to your golden ratio. Now, if we're looking for you to go down, right, you're going to want to show that same respect, but to the downside, tipping the 382, rejecting the 0.5, coming down to the 236, rejecting the 382, and then working your way down. Ultimately, when we do close below about $80,700, that to me will be validating enough. That'll be a valid enough movement, closing a 4-hour period or a bigger period below $80,700 will validate the notion that we are going lower than this low. And if we do go below this low, the areas that we're expecting will be somewhere on the lines of $74,000 to $68,000. I like the area right around. I'm actually adjusting my target somewhere around like 71 to 72, but maybe it's 73. Somewhere in that area. The 1272 here at just above 74K, but I do believe we will go below 74K. The 1414 at 72.2K. This is where I think we'll find support. It's very common with the 1414 to wick a little bit through it and then pull back up and close above it. So that's kind of what I'm expecting on a daily basis, maybe not a 4-hour basis, but a daily basis, that we will wick below 72.2K, be down there for an hour, a few hours, but not a whole day, and then probably move back up and close above this area, right? So wicking support, we're looking for something that's just below 72K, above 70K, and closing support probably right there at about 72.2K or higher. It's completely possible we could go lower. 69.4K is on the table. 65, 64K is completely possible as well. However, I doubt that we see that, right? I really do doubt that we see that. As far as the bullish butterfly pattern goes, I don't believe that this is a valid butterfly anymore. Somebody was asking about that in the comments. I'd give you a shout out if I could, but I didn't write your name down. I actually responded to that comment while I was on a drive here. Drive out to my house. It's possible it performs exactly that way, but what I'm leaning more on right now, I think, is something kind of in the scope of this fractal. Maybe I don't even know if I should call it a fractal, but because it's not a Bitcoin fractal, but this diamond top here. This thing, it looks very much like this one does here, compound. We go on this on the daily time frame. We go way, way, way back, all the way back. Where are you? It'll stand out once we see it. Right here, boom, there it is. Can you see it? Is it obvious? I know I've talked about this a couple times, but this to me, this top right here, it looks identical to this top in Bitcoin. And I might have to zoom it out a little bit to make the scope more appropriate, or maybe zoom it in like this, right? Something like this. But you see, does it make sense? Does that not look like this? Obviously, this is a lower high. This one here is a higher high, but they've got this weird like U in the middle. It's got this kind of like eyeball shape. It's like it might not even be a diamond top. I guess it is a diamond top. It looks like a diamond, but kind of like an eyeball, right? Same kind of shape here, right? And I didn't draw this line the best down here, whatever, but even performing the same as well, with moving up in a sharp kind of fashion, moving down in a sharp fashion. If we take compound here, we look at this low, we look at this high. This could be the key, you guys. We tipped the golden ratio. You tipped it. A little tipperoo right there. You know, I know most countries, they don't tip, but in America we tip, and this thing is definitely an American crypto. Compound, it tipped it, man. 1618 tipped it. That was just silly. I don't know why I said that, but I mean, that is true. At least I don't know. I say most countries don't tip. Maybe some countries do. I don't know. Not that I'm not traveled, but I'm not traveled like east of the Atlantic or west of the Pacific. I'm just traveled south, man. I like the Latin countries, the Latin areas. That's mis hermanos del sur, man. We are at $84,000 now, and we tipped, whenever we broke out of this here, we tipped the golden ratio. We tipped the golden ratio here. We came back up, and then we went down to the 1886. We came back up, and where are we going to go? Maybe down to the 1886, which is just happens to be right there above 74K, which lines up very well with this overall low to high here at the 1272 to the 1618, right? It's completely possible with the 1886 that you go a little bit lower than that. You could see the 200. It's completely possible that you could go lower than this. I don't expect it to perform exactly tit for tat the same, but this notion of just how this last similar pattern, and I really do feel like they look very, very similar, like identical, really. What do I know? I've only been doing this for 9 years, but that's kind of what I would expect to happen overall. We can move up. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if, you know, we're at 84,000 now. We'll probably move up, and I'm calling it right here, just like specifically 85 and a half, maybe just below 85 and a half, but something a little bit above $85,000 is what I'd be looking for. Below 86,000. A little bit of a lower high in this relative area, nothing that's going to be dramatic or break us out to the upside. I can imagine that once we get back above 86K or 85K, not 86K, I'm sorry, back above 85K, people will start to be crazy bullish again, and they'll be like, oh, Bitcoin's pumping, even though it's not pumping, right? I mean, here we had a 5% day, and people were acting like the bull market was on, right? And the bull market is on. The bear market is not on, guys. We are firmly entrenched in the bull market. Absolutely, we are. It's just it's taking its sweet time right now. We've got this last little leg down. Once we find support there, it's time to go. It might not be time to go immediately, but within a very short amount of time, we will be looking to see new all-time high targets. And when it does come time for new all-time highs, make no mistake, you guys, throughout all of this downside, throughout the consolidation phase here, I have been consistent in calling for a $170,000 price by the end of this move, right? 170K, that's where we're going. With the 2272 in mind, it's very common to go a little bit through it. If we were to go anywhere besides 170K, I would honestly assume that we go higher, not lower, but I do accept 150 as kind of the given minimum promise here. So I've got nothing else for you guys. I think I've said everything that I need to say. So hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Again, the 1 hour is a little bit, it's not necessarily bullish, but it's giving me anti-bearish vibes. Like it looks like it wants to be bearish, but it just can't quite do that. So we might get a little pop real quick, get some people to close out their shorts, you know, stop hunt, whatever, get some people to open up longs because they think that we're about to break out and go higher, all that kind of stuff. In fact, I wonder, what are we doing here from a low to a high? Low to a high in the golden ratio. I mean, yeah, it really could happen. We go up to about 85, even just above 85K, something like that's what I'd be expecting. So after that, then we go down. This probably happens over the next like day or so. Hit the like button, subscribe, and the upside probably happens over the next day or so, over the coming hours, over the coming day. The downside will likely take I think it's going to take until April or the very end of this month. I think it's going to be weeks away, unfortunately, at this point. I would love it if I'm wrong. I'd love it if it happened in a shorter amount of time than that. If we could just get done with it tomorrow, that's great. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, guys, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.